The Witcher 3 has Triss and Yennefer. Cyberpunk 2077 had Judy, Panam, and Rogue. And in the new Fable, it looks like that we have, how do I put this, Asmongold with hair. I thought that we got all the gargoyles from Fable 2. We must have missed this one somewhere. Hit the like button and subscribe, baby. Let's get to 90,000 and follow me on Twitter for some funny tweets. Let's keep this train going. Now, this girl, this woman looks like Shrek if he stayed human. Not a very pretty sight, is it? I mean, what are we doing here? It's like a Dark Souls character or something. No wonder we have gamers turning into weebs. The Western games have just become so cringy. Look, I gotta be honest, we're gonna get to the news story in a second, but this game model, oh my goodness. The character model looks like she's 20 and 40 at the same time. These developers couldn't decide what ethnicity she should be, so they just made her every single one. She looks like Neil from The Young Ones, and that's an insult to Neil, I guess. Now listen, to be fair, to put all the jokes to a side here, we have to be honest, we're talking about the character model, because the weird thing is, in real life, the actress playing this character is actually quite attractive. The actress is actually quite feminine and cute, but they stupidly changed her for some reason, making her very ugly in the game. See, in 2007, ugly characters were a technical limitation. Now, I don't know, like 20 years later, ugly characters are a choice from the developers. There's no way you can make this kind of mistake. They deliberately made her look like Hulk Hogan in the game. And we all know why they did it, folks, because they have to satisfy the weirdos of society. You have a fantasy game in a fantasy world with an infinite number of possibilities, but you're going to deliberately make the characters ugly. So yeah, I think the developers did her really dirty, did the actress really, really wrong. Because nothing says female inclusion than making them ugly. See, developers have been on this trend for a while. We know they're doing it. They know that we know they're doing it. They're lowering their beauty standards for woke points or something. Either way, it's the equivalent of the Joker burning money in The Dark Knight. Nobody's gonna want to play it, especially for the whole game. See, the thing is, they want to avert the male gaze. That's fine, because the male gaze is going to be averted onto another game. So bravo, you're going to get what you want. See, this reminds me of The Last of Us Part 2. If you remember, they did the same thing with Ellie's girlfriend. If you look at the real life actress who plays the character, I think her name is Dina or something, and then you compare that to the in-game model, it's like they put 1,000 ugly filters on her face. Listen, if I was the actress who plays this abomination, this Gollum lookalike in Fable, I would actually sue them for doing that, because they did her real dirty. She's actually good looking. But if they just did the model right by how she is in real life, then this whole drama wouldn't have started. Either way, look, I hope the real life model doesn't take all these insults and criticisms to heart, because to be honest, it's not towards her, it's towards the stupid way she was rendered. Do you remember when the Sonic movie got a ton of hate for Sonic's design? They actually changed it. Do you think the video game industry will ever do something like that? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Wait, you don't need to think about it. The answer's no. That reminds me of the Tomb Raider reboot. They did the complete opposite. They actually made Lara look more like the actress, because she was already the ideal person that looks like Lara. And then we look at something like this, and yeah, we just regressed like, I don't know, 20 years. Now, anyway, listen, I imagine there's going to be a character creator, right? A game built on choice better have a character creator. That's all I'm saying. Because I haven't played Fable in a long time, but I think I remember the character could change its appearance depending on your alignment. And by the looks of her, she chose the evil route. Am I right? Anyway, the Fable's British humor could help it stay afloat in today's sea of open world action RPGs. Oh, really? Now, I want to make clear that Fable's silly dark humor in that whimsical world filled with gritty, serious moments was my sh*. That was my sh*, ladies and gents, but whatever this new Fable is, I have zero faith that they'll be able to recapture that gold. It just won't happen. It will be sanitized by modern audience trash. Listen, if you look at how Fable 1 and 2 were made, it was inspired by British humor from the 80s and 90s. That's what the games were based on. That kind of humor, yes, that's completely missing in today's world, but you won't put that in your game, will you? Because the people who made those games, who made that old school humor are no longer there because Microsoft shut down Lionhead. And then Microsoft has the nerve to say, we won't repeat what happened to Lionhead in our future games. And then within a few years proceeded to shut down several studios shortly after. One of which is one of their only games to win multiple awards and get high praise. Just brain dead. That's one of the main reasons I have zero faith in this new Fable. It's their terrible leadership. And it actually pains me to think about Fable 1 and 2 because they were some of the best RPGs of their time, releasing on a stacked Xbox 360 console. It just makes me reminisce about the good old Xbox 360 days. They were just pure bliss. Look, even the third Fable had some of that same feel, but this one, the fourth one, has completely lost its magic. It's like, I don't know, Teletubbies without the big purple one. See, the humor has nothing to do with actual British humor. I'm talking about the fourth Fable, this one, because the humor they're talking about is randomly getting arrested for posting memes. Yeah, that's the British humor they're gonna put in this game. Anyway, while we know that it's not maybe the news people want to hear, what I want to assure people is that it's definitely worth the wait. Listen to me, I have zero faith that I'm going to be waiting for anything good. I have zero trust in the AAA games industry at this point. The hope is gone. These were the words by Craig Duncan, the head of Xbox Game Studios, when he announced back in February that Fable would be getting delayed to 2026. Now, let's be honest, this game is going to get delayed again. They just need to cancel this because that's what Microsoft is good at nowadays. This character, this abomination, can join that woman from Perfect Dark with the huge jawline and their other cancelled games of yesterday. Let me just remind everybody that this new Fable was rumored in 2017, almost 10 years ago. And then they announced it in 2020, and now they released some trailer a few months ago, this alpha stage in 2025. Now, that trailer that they released was less than 1 minute with barely any gameplay. After all this time, we can only get a 52-second video. They announced this thing like 6 years ago, and that's why I have little faith in Microsoft or Xbox. They have zero quality control over there. I don't think there's a more incompetent leader than good old Phil Spencer over there and his merry band of groupies. It's been a long road for the reboot of the much-loved RPG series. In a sense, a further delay wasn't entirely unexpected. Microsoft originally announced this game way back in 2020. Now, let me quickly interject here. Like I said, this was rumored in 2017. And at the same time, it was initially revealed that the Xbox Series XS consoles. After which, it disappeared for years. When Fable 3 was announced back in 2010, it was a different time. These days, open world action RPG genre includes the likes of The Witcher, Dragon's Dogma, Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, Xbox's own avowed and most modern Assassin's Creed games. It's a more crowded space, so Fable's going to have to work hard to stand out. Yeah, let me tell you something, I have zero high hopes. Besides the chicken kick, you know, the sucker kick on the chicken, nothing about this screams Fable. Literally one of the best things, one of the things people enjoyed about this series is customizing your character to be exactly how you want it to be, and that universe, that story, that backdrop was just a cherry on top. And without that, I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe they might be able to, you know, retain some of that twisted sense of British humor. Oh, who am I kidding? I mean, they have women in this game who look like super mutants from Fallout. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Who's gonna want to play as, you know, mundane, boring characters trying to sell you dog shit on a silver platter? Yeah, not me. Let me know what you think in the comments, ladies and gents. Manix out.